Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the next part of the Batman 2022 suit upgrade. So today we're going to be focusing on the Grapple Gun. Now, this file right here will be in the link below, so if you want to get this nice little Grapple Gun for yourself, you can do so. This is printed at a 60% size because it fits my forearm perfectly. At 100% it would have been like, the top of it would have been like up here and the bottom would have been into my elbow, which is a little too big. So 60% scale seems to be the perfect size for these gauntlets here. Just big enough without being too small, still fits in my hand comfortably and everything. We're gonna be going over how we paint, prime, sand, and all that, along with attaching it to the gauntlet, because in the movie, he has it on a sort of rail system where sits here and then springs forward into his hand with the rail system, and he can just reset it. I'm gonna be trying to recreate that to a degree. I probably won't have it be to where I can just like, I might be able to get to where I can just like move my arm a certain way and have the rail system come forward, but I don't know, I might have to just manually pull it forward. But either way, it will be attached to a rail system on the side of the gauntlet, and the rail system will move. My plan is to do in 3 parts. So I have a little example here, right here. So this will be the main rail, the inside rail right here, and then this one comes out, obviously, to get it up to there. And if it was just this, then the handle would be here and not sitting in my hand. So I'm gonna have a third smaller one attached to the handle of the grapple gun that'll extend a little further and have it sit comfortably in my hand. I'll just have to have my hand a little clawed like this, but that should be fine. And I've already got the rail system modeled out. I just have to print it and everything, which I will be doing while we work on this. And then after we're done with this, we will do the rail system. So you'll get to see all that in this video, don't worry. As for the darts, that will be in a different video, but I want to point this out now. I modeled my own darts to replace these, or before I got this file. This file does come with its own darts, so you won't have to worry about modeling your own. This will come with its own darts. I haven't printed the dart out yet because I'm running low on material, and I want to go ahead and make sure I can print the railing system, which I should have just enough left to print the rail for this to get it all done. But yeah, this does come with darts, and I believe they do fit into here, so I will be printing one of the darts that came with it just to make sure it will go in here, because I don't know if mine will, and it'd be easier to just take the dart made for it, scale it to 60% like this was, and slide it in, then print one of my own darts and try to figure out the right size for it, because my darts are replacing these, so they'll be this size. When you order this, it will come with the grapple gun, the darts, and the clip, a little clip on the side here that's supposed to clip onto here, but obviously I'm going to use my own clip that I made for the rail system to have my rail system work for it. So let's just go on right into the sanding and everything of this. And while we're doing this, like I said, I will have the rail system printing out so that we can do that afterwards. So let's hop on into it. Alright, so to start off, we're just going to be going over with a simple primer filler. Remember to keep it about 6 inches away at all times, giving it a nice thick coat to really have it get into all those cracks. We'll be sanding down any excess later after it's all dried. And we're more focused on this side than the back side, because this side is the side that's going to be shown more than the other side. The other side's going to be kind of hidden because that's the side that's attached to the gauntlet and will be in my hand. It won't be as visible, so it doesn't need to look as nice. Now, and if you're wondering what I'm having the gun sit on, I got that from Hobby Lobby for like $8, but let's move on. Alright, so moving on to sanding the file, as you can see, it's already pretty smooth already. There's a couple tiny little cracks that it didn't get into with the primer filler, but I'm not too worried about those. If anything, it'll just make it look like scratches and everything, like it is worn. So we're really just going to be going over it with the 220 grit sandpaper to really help just finish smoothing it out. As for this side, we're not going to really worry about that side because that's going to be covered up by the gauntlet and my hand. You're not really going to see it other than the barrel. So we don't have to be too particular about it. And we will be using a sanding file as well to really get into the small cracks and crevices, but as you can see, it's already working. Some of the creases that were still there are now gone because they've been sanded in, and it really just helps bring this thing to perfection, or as close as I can get it. But yeah, so moving on to the sanding files. Sanding files are a nice thing to have around. They come with two sides. One side on this one is 120 grit, the other side's 220 grit. We're using the 220 grit side, just like the paper, and it just really helps us get into these tight little areas right here that you're seeing me get at now, that you normally wouldn't be able to get into with a standard sanding paper. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. We'll probably go over it one more time with primer and then sand it one more time, but I'm not going to show that because that's basically, you've already seen that, you know what to do. Let's just get on in to painting everything. Alright, so moving on to painting everything, I couldn't really find a definitive paint job for it, so I'm just going to go over it with my own color pattern. And I've already painted a bit of it with the black just so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, of what I'm going for, but yeah. I'm just using basic black and brushed silver with the smaller brushes to get into the tiny crevices and the bigger brushes to do a majority of it. Now, as you can see, the brushed silver looks real good. It's giving it that metallic-y kind of look. And it should look a little darker once it's dried. Right now, it's probably going to be gone over at least 2 or 3 times overall with the paint, but it should look good in the end. I'm probably not going to show all of this just because, you know, it's painting, you know what to do. So let's just move on and show you what the final product looks like. Alright, so here's the final product. I actually switched over to a gunmetal gray just because the brushed silver wasn't coming out as well as I wanted it to, wasn't as dark as I wanted it to. So as you see right here, it's just a simple metallic gunmetal gray. It's like 50 cents at Walmart, but it does the job and it does it good. This is pretty much it for the grapple. There's not too much to do other than put it on the rail system and just get it attached to the gauntlet and everything. But no, we do have to do one more thing to it before it is ready. Alright, so the last thing to do to the grapple is to spray it with a matte clear just to really seal the paint in, make sure that it, and we're just going to make sure we get a light coat over the whole thing, try not to miss any details here. And also while we're out here, I have the railing system done printed. It is the 3-part system, like I said. It starts like this, it slides forward, and then the third bit slides forward as well. It's not perfect, but I ran out of material before I was able to finish it off and fix all the bugs. I do have all the bugs fixed in the model, I am pretty sure, but for now, this is the rail system I'm going to go with. And it fits perfectly in my arm. The top of the gun starts right at my wrist, and it's fine for now. In the future, I might go back and upgrade it a little bit more, but it works. And so we're going to go ahead and spray the primer filler on this, and we're not going to really sand it because it doesn't really matter too much. Alright, so we've got the rail system painted. I went ahead and sprayed it down with the same paint that I used for the batsuit itself to change the color of the cloth, which is, again, just this vinyl and fabric paint. It's a dark gray. It doesn't actually say the name of it on there, but it's the darker of the grays. There's only 2 options when I went to get it, so that's the best I can give you. But we are ready to attach the grapple to the rail, but in order to get this on, we're going to use a mixture of Loctite super glue along with E6000, because E6000 takes a while before it actually dries, whereas Loctite is basically instant. So we're gonna go with just a glob of E6000 right down the center, and then we are going to just circle it with little dots of Loctite to go around it, just to help the gun adhere to the rail, or the grapple adhere to the rail. Now we don't want too much because we don't want it spilling at the sides, because that could cause jams to worsen, but just enough to make sure that it sits there. And we're going to take the corner of the handle and put it to the corner of the rail. That way is perfectly lined up to fit in our hand, in the palm of our hand, nice and neat, without really having to strain ourselves too much. Alright, so now we're on to the final step, which is simply gluing the rail and the grapple to the gauntlet itself. And in order to do that, we are going to be using a mixture of fabric glue, which is just this fabric fusion here, and the E6000 again. Because I'm not really sure what will work, but this should be good enough. We're simply gonna take the glue stick and just lightly go over everything, pressing it in so that it makes sure we get the glue into the fabric and everything, but not to where it's like big glops and heaps of it, just enough to make sure that it will soak into the fabric and possibly the plastic. I'm still not sure if this is gonna work properly, but hopefully it does. After that, we're gonna do the same thing with the E6000, but we're gonna put it on the rail itself rather than on the gauntlet. And unlike the last time, we're not just gonna put it straight down the center, we're gonna do it all over the rail. We really wanna make sure that this is gonna stick as best as it can. So once we've got it in there, I've already got it marked with a little push pin or sewing pin, whatever you wanna call it, where the bottom of it needs to go. So we're just gonna make sure that we line it up with the bottom and then line it up with the seam on the gauntlet as best as we can, because that way it'll be perfectly straight and perfectly fit into the palm of our hand so that it will be comfortable to grab and not really be too strenuous to hold and everything like that without sticking out the side like a sore thumb. Alright everybody, so we have the final product here. The glue's not done drying completely yet, so I'm being a little careful, but yeah, what do you think? I think it looks pretty good. Sits perfectly, and when it slides out right into my hand. It does get a little jammed, but again, I will fix that whenever I have more material that I can, you know, reprint the corrected model, but this is as good as it's going to be for now because I'm out of material. Fits comfortably in my hand though. It doesn't really hurt to hold it like this or anything like that. I can extend my arm all the way and everything, move it around, it's fine. I think it came out pretty good, all things considered. But that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It took a while to get this done, actually. I forgot to turn the light off behind me. Kind of stupid. But anyways, thank you guys for the support. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. At the time of recording this, we're like 35 away. It's insane how quickly we're getting there. Thank you all very much. And if you want to see me continue the process, the next video, the next thing we're gonna update on the suit is the belt and adding all the things to it that the belt that it came with didn't have. And so yeah, if you're interested in that and you want to follow this process and just see what else I got going on, be sure to subscribe below, help us hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up to date with everything. But alright, that's all for today, and I'll see you the next one. Later.